I'm not in a rush to get anything done. I just don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says if it's going to take 10 years, let it take 10 years. But when we get to that 10-year point, like everything has to be planned out. Don't let it be 11 years. Because then at that point, you did waste 10 years. I got here, I met Yoni, the guy I started the studio with. Shout out Yoni Green Tea. He actually came up with the name.
Yeah.
And we were working out of his dad's office and on Pico and Robertson area. And we were out of his dad's office. Very small space, literally from like here to the wall type shit. Maybe a little further. No AC. Me and him are just rapping in there every night. He's just recording me. He's getting really good at engineering. Self-taught dude. And then we move into a bigger room in that building. We can't book anything from 9 to 5 because there's a psychologist in the room next door. So that doesn't work. So now we're just like, okay, we're only booking 6 to 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, man, like we find this spot on Cotner. We go there. And then 6 months later, the pandemic happens. And we're like, shit. This isn't, we take 3 months off. We put up this plexiglass. We don't really use it, but we put it up. We advertise that we're COVID safe.
Yeah.
And we open before all the other underground studios open. Like we're on our last few bucks to stay alive here as a studio. And then we reopen and we triple the amount of work we had from before COVID started. Like absolutely booked.
Wow.
Out the ass, like crazy.
Yeah.
Big blessings, but we just took a risk. Like we knew it's either do or die at that point. And I felt like the whole first 2 years of the business were really like that. Like I felt like every day was like, if we don't get this bag, like an actual number every single day, then we're going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we had to really push hard and just break through that barrier. And then we did. We got the new room. Things were going well. Then the COVID, blah, blah, blah. And then once we reopened, we opened a spot in Burbank, opened a spot in Studio City. And then after a while, we shut down Burbank, shut down Studio City, and then recondensed in Santa Monica where we are now. And sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. Type shit.
100%.
I feel like dialing it back. Not only did we take 3 steps forward, we took like a whole leap forward.
Yeah.
Ran a lap.
Yeah. We were talking about this too, me and Yoni the other day. We've added so many great team members along the way, like Kevin, Ashley, all our engineers, Harry, Osiris, Jamarius, Noah, like really just great key players, and that's how you build a company, is by like if you keep it to yourself forever and it's just I don't trust anyone, then like
literally
it's never going up.
Literally.
Like you have to have the fabric built, otherwise there's gonna be no shirt.
100%, 100%, bro. There's a lot of
wisdom.
Shit, bro. There's a lot of shit that people could take away from your story. You know what I mean? From even you say you had a studio when you were in college, even. You know what I mean? Recording out that like
On your Rick Rubin.
constantly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Constantly keeping that vision. Just staying at it, you know what I mean? And still being willing to adjust, you know what I mean? Pivoting a little bit from the more artist-facing side, being the front man, doing all that, to being behind the scenes and cultivating these people, giving back your knowledge to other people, you know what I mean?
That was the
Amazing thing.
I felt like I was getting real sick of managing myself. Like I won't say I was the most talented artist. Like straight up, I fully admit that. And I'm sitting there, I had a few songs that did well. Like it was cool. It was going fine, but no one wanted to manage me. I was really sick of doing all the legwork myself. It's a lot of work. And then TikTok became a thing, and I was like, I'm done. Like I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't wanna have to do that extra step. But like I see and understand where this is going. So like all the blog shit is died down, but it's still relevant for other reasons. But like the ultimate thing that. And it took me a long time, you mentioned that, like being able to pivot. That was a really weird pivot for me personally, because I was so in love with making music and writing and being a part of it, that for like a long time in the back of my head, I'd be like, damn, I can do this better than other people. Like while I'm easing into the business side. Yeah. And then there was one day it just dawned on me, I'm like, bro, you got to stop being salty with the decision you made. You're already too deep in the business shit to go back at this point. You could always do it for fun and enjoy yourself, but you're not going to be an artist in pursuit of like this shit. So like there was a day when I just sat myself down and was like, okay, enough of this shit. Stop being petty in your own head. Just move on.
That's
like,
maturity.
Yeah. And I think since then, like it's been easier for me to grow the business in the mindset that that's my number one priority right now. Like, other than my family relationships, of course, but like, that's the number one thing. Is like, I let go of that.
Dog.
It's hard to do though. It's really hard. It's like shedding a skin of your childhood.
No, 100%.
Everything you wanted for years, that you dreamed of, that you
my whole life,
that you visualized.
Literally till I'm 25. I'm only 27.
Yeah.
But growth, all that shit is uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And I feel like what you're talking with really comes with age, you know what I'm saying? Because like, you gotta like, the more I realize this shit, it's like we could try to, impress, worry as much as we can, but shit just always goes better the second you let go of the shit that is so clearly, you know what I mean, holding you back to an extent, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you can still make music. There's no age limit on it, you know what I mean? There's no one that's going to tell you, oh, stop recording, you know what I mean? Like, it's just prioritizing, evolving, changing.
But like, I don't want to be out here like trying to figure out, okay, am I going to have the cover art done on time for when I need to drop the song? I don't want to do that anymore. Like, first of all, I'm exhausted. Like, I don't want to be doing this shit anymore. I don't want to be calling, producers on the other side of the country asking for stems. Like, the struggle for an artist without a manager is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the A to Z without a manager, it's when I don't even know when the fuck you have time to write music.
Yeah.
With the current state that it's in. It's like, literally, it's cover art. It's making sure the song gets recorded, making sure it gets mixed and mastered, making sure you have your cover art, making sure you made all the TikTok promotion for it, music videos, setting up the extras for that. Like, if you don't have a manager, even helping with half of that, and then networking, bro, in LA. Like, when are you going home and being like, okay, I'm going to get better at this?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Especially as somebody that hasn't been in the business, hasn't had the experience that you now have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't understand the steps you need to take. Especially when you're that kind of artist. I'll say, like, I'm someone that's always dreamed of making music, Really? But yeah. I love to play my guitar. It's a hobby shit.
Yeah.
But that's the goal, But, like, realistically, the talent and the drive is not there to make music.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, if we can build these companies and network and meet all these people and become established like this, how much easier is it to make a record when 20 managers, you have 5 major label connects? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's just more building blocks, And like, you never forget that dream, because like that's still always there. But like, when it's really something you can do and you don't have to do, I don't know, it's different.
If I make a record by accident that's absolute fire, I'm obviously plugging myself. I'm just going out there. Like, if I make some fucking shit that, like, or I just get it as a placement at that point. But, like, I'm not out there like that, to be honest. Like, I'm not seriously in the studio.
You'll be locked in.
You gotta be locked in if you're going to make something special. Like, I'm not letting anyone think you can go in the studio, like, and be rusty and make some crazy shit. You can, but, like, it's a lot less likely. Yeah. You got to be on your pen. You got to be on your game. Like, if you're going to make something special.
Yeah. But it's a crazy curveball. It's the fact that you talk about, you know what I mean, knowing that you have to get these stems from these producers across, like, the country, or get the cover art. And now when we look at Green Tea Studios, it is, like Spencer got into, it's more than just a recording studio. If you go on y'all Instagram page, you're also giving artist tips, you know what I mean? Like, really helping these people cultivate and grow their careers. Is that something that, like, was always the vision when you started it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, from the beginning, like, me and Yoni were talking about it, and Kevin's a big part of this as well, of course. But, like, the goal is to ease some of that pressure. I mentioned this huge A to Z list. We want to help at least check, 7 or 8 of those boxes. You come in, because, like, again, another thing is, like, if you're not recording at home, you don't know how to record yourself, and you're going to a studio. Like, we've heard horror stories where the engineers at these studios will take months to send stems that don't belong to them. Like, you leave your session, you're leaving with your shit from our studio. There is no, when am I getting my stems from your studio? Or can I get the MP3 from... Like, we're not doing that. And we help with the blogs, and, we do mixing and mastering, and we're doing the shows. And, like, people just call me and be like, yo, Barry, I need to know what I should be doing in this situation. Can you listen to this song for me? I need your opinion. And, like, you know what? The truth is, like, if I'm not doing all this my own music shit anymore, I have the time to help people. So, like, the goal, and Yoni too, man. Kevin also, like, the whole team, and Annabelle, for even that matter. She's doing her own thing. But, like, we're all really here to just make it easier, because it's really hard and expensive, bro. Like, it's expensive to be an artist. Like, I remember how much money I was spending when I moved here, and, like, I did not have money to spend when I moved here. Like,
so, you talk about the horror stories, though.
Yeah.
What's, like, the craziest thing that you've seen in the studio?
In our studio or a studio in general?
Either or, just some
In our
crazy.
A studio. Oh yeah, whatever.
In our studio, there's no horror stories. To be honest. If there were, I'd tell them because like we'd have. There hasn't been anything crazy. Maybe I've been in a studio where there was a horror story with. I could tell you that story, but I don't know. I heard of this. You know, it's not really one story in specific. There's a lot of different scenarios. A lot of women have problems at studios.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a story. I don't remember who it was that I spoke to about this. Oh, yes, I do, but I can't say her name. She was at a studio, and the engineer came into the booth while she was recording to help her sing the song. Mortifying.
Wait. Like, so the engineer
She's
got
in
up out
there.
his seat.
It was rubbing on her shoulder type shit. And it's just, forget even that. The audacity. You know, if you have to be able to read the room. All of our engineers at Green Tea Studios know how to read the room.
Yeah.
They know how, if the artist is going to want the engineer to be vocal.
Yeah.
Or if the engineer should just be quiet, be in their place, and do what they need to do. But you never enter the booth unless you're asked to go in there to fix something. And you certainly don't go in there and tell them how to sing. And you definitely do not touch the goddamn client.
Yeah.
Ever, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that story blew my mind. And then there's just like the common stories where it's like, yeah, I've been waiting for my stems for 3 to 6 months, and I'm like, why? Like,
For what?
Nah.
The ego of some of these players that want to be artists so bad.
at that point though, honestly, scrap the song and move on with your life.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting the stems back, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I've told artists that too. They're like, bro, I'm gonna fight for this. Like, I want to put the song out. I'm like, bro, go to another studio and go work on the song again.
Yeah.
You're not getting the stems back.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's good that you guys are in there changing that shit.
Yeah, I'm trying. Like,
Yeah.
we're trying, man. Shit.
I want to talk a little bit more about like the future of Green Tea. Because like we were kind of talking about it being more than a recording studio. I see you guys offering like publicity services and having like partnerships with these blogs and having Annabelle on the team who is a curator and an influencer in the music scene, you know? And I'm kind of curious too if Green Tea is really a studio that offers these services or if there's a bigger vision to be more of an artist service company that also has an in-house studio.
So it's a good question. Another question I get asked a lot is like, what's the 5-year plan?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. You know what? I'm here right now. I'm here right now, and someone asked me the other day, like, how does it feel to be this successful? I'm like, first of all, I'm not successful. Second of all, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I don't even know how I'm here. Like, I put my head down the last 5 years, and we're here. But to answer that question, it's like, it could go either way, ultimately.
Mhm.
Right now, we are a recording studio that does offer those things.
Yeah.
Would I like to transition at some point more so of a service-based company that also offers recording? Yeah, for sure. Not because there's more money in it, but because that could be more useful to artists, truthfully. But, I mean, I do see ourselves opening studios in other cities. We want to move. Don't want to give up too much sauce, but we're going to move westward before we go east. We got offered to franchise in Chicago last summer, and we got offered to franchise in New York this year, and we declined for now because we really just want to establish a base. If you build upwards too quickly, it'll just fall over. But if you build a really strong base, really wide, you could build
as high as you want.
As high as you want.
Totally.
Forever.
Totally.
So
That's real.
I'm in no rush to franchise. I'm in no rush to open more studios. I want to do things correctly. Rick Ross said this on a podcast. He said, I'm not in a rush to get anything done. I just don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
He says if it's going to take 10 years, let it take 10 years. But when we get to that 10-year point, like everything has to be planned out. Don't let it be 11 years. Because then at that point, you did waste 10 years. So I'm in no rush to get to the destination. I'm just enjoying the journey and trying to have fun with it, man.
Hell yeah.
Advice from Barry and the biggest boss, Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying, bro? Nah, that's real game, bro.